Most parenting stress is invisible until it's not. This video helps you understand how stress in the body shapes the way we parent. Stress moves through the body in different ways. For some parents, it shows up as snapping or yelling. That's the fight response. For others, it shows up as the flight response, which is the body's attempt to escape the threat, either by leaving the situation or by staying in constant motion to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Here's how that can look. It's the end of the day. There's still homework and dinner to do. Your body is feeling tense. You do not want things to fall apart, so you speed up. You start giving instructions quickly. You move from task to task without stopping. Your patience runs short, and you're not trying to escape from your child. Your nervous system is trying to create distance from that overload feeling. For some parents, go into the freeze response, which is going quiet, shutting down, just feeling numb. Different expressions, same survival system at work. When the body senses too much demand and not enough support, it shifts into protection. And in those moments, parenting is influenced less by what we intend to do and more by what the nervous system needs to feel safe. Our kids can bring out so much love in us and also push our buttons in ways we didn't expect. One moment we feel deep love and pride, and the next we feel stressed and frustrated, irritated, or even triggered. Sometimes without knowing why. I remember walking my son to his first day of school. For my oldest son, Gavin, my firstborn, he's shy and he's really quiet. And I'm not taking him to the same school that he's been going to the last 6 years. I'm walking him to his first day of middle school. I remember my heart was racing and I'm worrying. I'm feeling anxious and my mind is moving fast and I'm irritated at all the drivers that morning driving way too fast on a school zone. And I find myself scanning the school grounds and I'm noticing the taller kids that are taller than my son and even taller than me. And then I noticed this little girl and walking with her mom, and my thoughts were, sure, she looks innocent, but as soon as her mom turns around, I'm sure she turns into this undercover mean girl. I'm worried not about what could happen to me, but what could happen to him. I give him a hug and I decide to take the longer trail back home, the trail where there's more trees. And as I start walking, I realize that what I'm really worried about has nothing to do with my son. Part of my fear is not about him. Middle school was rough for me. I was bullied from the beginning, and I know how painful that was. And I never want him to experience that pain. Our children can awaken feelings we have carried for years, and before we know it, our body is reacting even when our mind is trying to stay calm. When we start noticing this, something changes. Parenting becomes less about control and more about understanding what is happening inside us. And so when parents come into my practice feeling intense anxiety about their child, I often ask, what was it like for you at that age? Because it's so often it's our own story showing up. And that is why the most powerful parenting tool is not what we say, it's how we breathe, how we move and respond. Because awareness is key. You are better equipped as a parent when you commit to understanding what is coming up inside you rather than assuming all belongs to your child. And this is where checking in with yourself matters. And you can do this by grounding, which is the first step to the G.R.A.C.E matrix. Grounding helps your nervous system shift out of survival mode and sends your body a clear signal that it is safe. Grounding brings you back to the present moment. You breathe. You move your body, take a walk outside or in nature. Here are a few simple grounding tools. Breath work, where you inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 5. And then there's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, where you engage your senses to anchor in the present, where you Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, and 2 things you can touch, and 1 thing you can taste. Now, that really brings you back in the present moment. You can do barefoot grounding, where you step outside and stand on natural ground for a few minutes. And you can also journal. And you can journal, where in my body do I feel the most discomfort? And what helps me feel grounded? And the next step is reflecting. It means pausing to observe your inner world with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to show me? Is this about my child or something older being stirred? Labeling emotions reduces reactivity and supports regulation. And you can try this simple sentence on your journal: I feel blank because blank. So that's just a brief overview of the grounding and the reflecting parts of the Grace Matrix. If this kind of reflection is helpful, you will find free grounding and journaling resources on my website. And if Hello Flutters is part of your family's world, many of these ideas are in there too. When we understand stress through the nervous system, the next question becomes clear. What actually helps children feel safe and supported when life feels overwhelming? In another episode, I walk through the 4 S's of attachment and how parents can offer them in everyday life. And if you found this helpful, I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe. Thank you.